All right, I'm going to bring this meeting to order. This is the, do you need to hit record or are you recording, Donna?
It's recorded.
All right. This is the November 7th, 2024 meeting of the Township of Ocean Environmental Commission. We will do a roll call. Member Colton is here. He stepped out for a moment. He will be back, but if Ms. Oates could please note it on the record that he is present. Member Gaudette. Here. Member Janetti is not here this month. Member Lutz.
Here.
Member Brannon, I do not see. Member Mamie.
Here.
Alternate Tremonti.
Here.
And alternate Baxi. Here. All right. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the Township Clerk on June 28th, 2024. And as a reminder to everyone, this meeting is being recorded and will be made available on Ocean Township's YouTube channel. So if you get really bored, you can watch this anytime you'd like. Okay. We have minutes for approval. Donna, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but there's a little discrepancy. Were they the 4th or the 5th? Because the agenda says September 4th and the meeting minutes say the 5th.
It was September 5th.
September 5th. All right, good. So the meetings are correct. Do I have a motion to accept the meetings?
A motion.
Second.
Moved by members alternate Tremonti and seconded by member Lutz. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Member Mamie is abstaining. Any opposed? All right. Great. Moving right along. What do we have next? Oh, Nancy, would you mind joining us at the table? We would love to hear and talk more
Officially?
about, yes.
Okay. I think I've done this a few times. So, I think all of you have heard this spiel already, but I wanted to work on a program called Skip the Stuff, which is a program that many of our neighboring towns have already adopted an ordinance for. You go into a restaurant, you get takeout, you go to pick it up, it's in a bag, you're taking it home to eat at your dinner table with your silverware, but in the bag are plastic utensils, condiments, napkins, straws, everything that you don't need. So again, it's an ordinance that a lot of towns have already adopted to put up a sign in a restaurant and have the restaurants agree to skip the stuff. They can ask and request for the utensils to be included in their bag, but the default would be to not put them in. So I just noticed Eatontown now has also adopted it. Oceanport, there's a lot of our local towns who have it already, and they are looking for a statewide ordinance, so they're working on that. There's an organization called Beyond Plastics who is overseeing this, but there's individuals like ourselves in green teams and environmental commissions who are trying to get this going in each town. So they have a survey that we can send out to all of our restaurants in town. And I spoke to Ed. We were talking about maybe adding on a couple other questions about just how business is going and things like that. And so that's the point we're at now. So we would like to try to get that going. So.
Is it possible for them to like display a sticker saying we support this?
Yep, absolutely. And that's one of the things that they give you all this already.
Okay.
So this would go up in the restaurant. And I mean, we could tweak it if we wanted, but it's basically, we kindly ask that you request accessories if you need them. And what I've seen in some restaurants is they have a table when you walk in, that's where all the takeout bags are. Next to that table are all the utensils.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not in your bag, but if you want it, you just grab it.
Yeah.
Like
a
Chipotle. I think Chipotle is
They do
separated
that?
like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I've seen Chinese restaurants, they have all the condiments,
Mhm.
and it's all laying there. You grab a handful of mustard if you want, throw it in your
Yeah.
bag, but most people don't want it. It goes in the garbage.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a cost savings for the restaurant as well.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, that's the biggest thing, and that's what I would tell the restaurants is it's a huge cost savings. I mean, everyone's doing to go and take out now, DoorDash, Grubhub, all these things. So they're constantly buying all these throwaway containers. I can't even imagine the costs now that the restaurants have taken on, so.
That's a good question. What happens if there's somebody in the middle like DoorDash or Grubhub, they're gonna take the utensils.
Yeah,
Because they
so-
don't know.
I've talked to DoorDash, and, you know, you don't really get too far with them, it's just customer service over the phone, but I wrote a letter to them saying, can we please encourage your individual restaurants to have a tab and check, yes, I need utensils. Some restaurants have that,
Right.
but most don't. And it's automatic, they just put it in, because they don't want to get yelled at later that the person at work wanted the fork.
You could take Wawa because they're corporate, those restaurants are all corporate owned. And they are big on community involvement, community support, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah,
So you're not dealing with an individual.
right.
And I do a shift and a half or 2 shifts a week at one of the
Maybe say
stores.
in, yeah,
And we actually get yelled at if that bag for the takeout doesn't have the spoon and the napkins in it every
Right.
single time. We've gotten complaints from the outside back to corporate and back down to the
yeah.
individual store.
Yeah, and I figured if we could start with just the, you know, the pizza places, the Chinese restaurants, the places that do a ton of takeout, that 9 times out of 10, the people are just bringing it home. And, you know, maybe 10 years down the road, try to get to the Wawas and convenience stores, but.
Yeah, but with the amount of takeout that comes out of that store, all of those stores, probably rivals any pizza place in town.
Yeah,
And we'll do 150, 200 sandwiches in a day.
right. Would you say that they're more lunchtime, people on the road, people working, maybe?
It varies a little bit per store,
Yeah.
but yeah, lunch, there's usually a lunch rush. I'm usually up in Neptune, up in Tin Falls on 36.
Mhm.
So the Amazon drivers hit about 11:30.
Yeah.
They fill up the truck, they fill up the driver, and off they go.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but, at least, you know, if we could make a difference in some instances, it would be
You know,
great.
I would say, while we're on quick checks, since you might be able to twist from the corporate side
Yeah,
a little bit more
right.
than 7-Eleven or Welch Farms or
Mhm.
the others. And
Yeah.
7-Eleven really doesn't do a lot of it.
Mhm. Yeah. So what would be the next step then officially to,
So I think we wanted to kick some extra questions around, but that was a few months ago, and I don't want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good here. So I think that the basic survey is good to go out. Yeah, I think the sooner we can get this out, I've talked to some other folks in town about this, and there seems to be a lot of interest in getting it done, both the survey and the ordinance. My question is always, and this is not any kind of like a slowdown or a deal breaker at all, but I am really curious about what the enforcement mechanism on the ordinance would be.
yeah,
You know?
it probably wouldn't be much. You know, I can imagine that restaurants would probably be just like, oh, they made me put that flyer up and I'm going to ignore it. But my thought is if we could reach, you know, restaurants and they can, you know, agree to do it, and it's going to make a huge difference. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a ton who just won't even bother, and there'll be no enforcement, but that's okay. It's just, you know, if we can make baby steps with it, I think it would be really, really good.
Yeah, I think that's great. So how can we help you?
So I think, like I talked to Donna, I don't know if I am allowed to have a list of restaurants. I mean, I can go and Google everybody and look up their website and get an email and make a list. But I can do either, originally I was thinking going door to door, but all the other towns who've done this, they've emailed it. They just, you know, they email out the survey, and we can do through Google Forms. It's like really takes about maybe 20 seconds. There's about like 10 questions, they just check them off, and then off, they send it again.
So just what is the concern about sharing the list of restaurants?
I don't know. I mean, it's
Does
all
it need
public.
to be an Oprah request?
I mean, all the restaurants
Well,
have
if-
business licenses.
Mercantile license,
Mercantile
so it should be, when they have to renew their mercantile license for 2025, they should be handed this survey. Could there not be a
That's-
pipeline?
I mean,
They're ready to go out.
Yeah, I just got hit with one in Neptune.
Yeah, they're ready to go out. The business licenses are ready. to
So
go
is
out.
this paper that's mailed to them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping
Okay,
to do
so wait.
electronic, but.
Neptune is so
Whoa, that's a whole
good.
other
You
thing.
guys have to see, like, I should bring up my email and show you. It's so easy. Like, click something, you go online, you pay online, they email you your certificate.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Ocean Township will.
Reducing paper is also something that this commission is
Yeah.
interested
Yeah.
in. So,
Talk to the manager.
I would love to do it electronic.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would
I-
love
I-
that.
think it would be
It
listen,
defeats
I-
the purpose if we hand out a paper.
yeah,
And
I-
mailing and all that,
Right,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
costs a lot more.
yeah.
Well,
It would cost a lot more
I don't know
money.
if anyone's worked
How
with
many
Google Forms.
trees do you kill at the same spoon?
Right.
Yeah, it tabulates the results.
Yeah.
Right.
It just does it. You don't even have to do it. It just does it. It just gives you the results of who checked off what and, how many of each question. So,
Well, if we need to pull an over request to get the list of restaurants, I'm happy to do that for you.
okay, thank you. So who do I, who should I?
Just,
talk to Tom?
you can make this really easy. You can just add at the bottom of your email address the Dear Miss Oates, please, if need be, consider this email an Oprah request and we'll have to treat it as such. Yeah.
I don't know how it works either.
She will
so.
mail
Hey,
you
listen,
back
I know
a
the system
3-page
inside
form to
now.
fill out.
That's not me, that's the clerk's office where you apply for the open forms, and then it trickles down to me, I get the email and the copy of it saying, you need to do all this by this date, and then I pull everything and then send to you, but the problem with that, which I don't mind doing it, not every establishment has an email address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Their managers or district managers that
Right.
manage several different locations, they have an email address. Like when they apply for the food license, send it to the licensing department. Or they have a whole separate company that handles all their certificates, all their licensing. It goes to another place and then goes to the restaurant. They handle that.
Right.
So I have absolutely no problem going through it,
District is
but know that
34 questions.
it's different for every restaurant.
Right. Yeah. And there too, I mean, if, say we got half of them or even a quarter of them, I mean, I'd be still happy to go to a quarter of them in person. Or try to get emails from people, or who do I talk to, who's the manager,
Yeah.
who should get the survey.
What
Right.
kind of response rate have other towns gotten? Do you know?
I don't, I mean, other than ordinances were passed,
Mhm.
when I have meetings with the Beyond Plastic people, they get on the call, they do a quick 5-minute update, and they say, yeah, we just passed our ordinance, and, everybody agreed, they were all happy to do it, and that's about it. So I don't really hear detail
Mhm.
about it, so.
But like you said, you put it in the window, even if they don't abide by it, like the younger generation will, and eventually, believe it or not, it will be obsolete.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, how many
It's just
plastic
you-
bags do you get?
yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah,
everyone's like, oh, no one's going to follow that law.
yeah.
Everyone follows that law.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we could help you pass this ordinance just for every business to have it in their window,
Mhm.
let's do what we have to do.
So I'll send to Donna
Mhm.
an email, okay? And then you'll let me know about the emails.
Yes.
Okay, and then what about adding some of the questions that you wanted to just?
we'll skip it.
Okay,
I would rather see this get done than delay it any longer than it
Okay.
needs to be.
all right, great.
But just as long as we're still on it though, the flyers for the windows, are they including the specific town ordinance, or is there a generic one that if you go walk into a restaurant tomorrow, like we love this idea, we hate giving this stuff out. Do you have something that they could put up tomorrow? Is that-
Well, I mean, this flyer that Beyond Plastic sends as a sample, yes. I
Okay.
mean, we could certainly just, copy a bunch of these, paper, sorry, but, yeah, I mean, this is generic. This is not, this has Beyond Plastics at the bottom, Clean Water Action, and New Jersey No Plastic. I guess we're sponsors.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, this could just be something that we copy a bunch and,
Because there may be environmentally concerned citizens who will patronize restaurants for that and not
Yeah.
others.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Wait, people actually go to restaurants and just don't order online?
Yeah, it's,
I just sat in
that's,
this
that's a good point.
Well, what about the fact that someone
Okay.
might want a fork
Well, they can just ask for a fork.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
or a spork?
Yeah, it's like
They
a
can
fun
ask
request
for it.
only.
Yeah.
Right, they're,
Like,
right.
we're not giving it to you, but you can
Is
ask
that
for it.
copyrighted? In other words,
No, this is
could,
what they want you to use.
so the point is, a lot of restaurants do take out online.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
if
you
they
mean
could
like
Oh.
the
make that
thing with
part
like
of
the
their
salt,
website?
peppers,
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see,
Yeah,
so,
you
you
know,
know,
like
at more of that,
mustard,
like the corporate level, the bigger
Yeah.
level, the upper level. So, you know, so many people are doing the deliveries now, and they can have it on those sites, on their, yeah, which is great.
Or just a local pizza restaurant, just.
Yeah, like
displays
that
that
little
as part of their
one. That's
logo,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you call it in,
and it becomes identifiable.
But
Yeah.
it should be the responsibility of the person who calls, I think.
Yeah, I think this is great. Anything we can do to help, if
Okay.
you run into any other bureaucratic hurdles, please reach out to me. I'm happy to call and do and make Donna's life so much
Yeah, and then
better.
when we get the list, we can like go through it, you know, and cross off what you've hit and what, you know, other people can hit, delegate,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then we'll just get started with that, you know?
Thank you.
And again, and like I said, hopefully this will
Yeah.
just take on a life of its own. And
Yeah.
restaurants will want to be doing it
Yeah, I have
just
to.
because it saves them money.
And I think it helps that a lot of our neighboring towns are already doing it.
Yeah,
So
right,
it's
right.
not gonna be a total shock to people as they start to hear, it's like, oh yeah, I heard so-and-so's doing that, so.
Yeah.
But, great, okay, thank you.
Thank
Great. It is not on the agenda, and that is my fault. So we don't want to cover it tonight, but Angela, did you want to talk about Help See at all? Because I
Oh,
did
yeah.
talk to the town manager
Sure.
about that,
Yeah.
and he's very interested in it. So,
Yeah, so, unfortunately, I don't have my phone, so I don't have the actual email with me, but I did go on a Help See tour, which Help See is a textile recycling organization that's, located on Industrial Way. And they have a very interesting operation where they have a sorting facility, that gives, you know, living wage jobs to people where they sort through donated items. They get things from thrift stores, and then they get like recycled things as well. And then they send some of the textiles out just straight for like becoming rags and insulation, things like that. And then they have another online store where they sell things that are secondhand, like name brand things that could be sold in an aftermarket, Poshmark type of places. So I happened to be there when I think the Morris County Sewage Authority was doing their education class, and this tour was part of that. So I sat through, and I learned that I guess towns can have agreements with Help See to either have like a pickup happen, like where they're contracted with, town would be contracted with Help See, and individual citizens could just sign up for whenever they want, you know, textiles to be picked up and sent to Help See. Or the town could rent, Help See could rent a little area for a bin, and then basically we would have a partnership with Help See where people could bring their scrap clothes or old clothes or something like that there. So it's not going to charity or anything like that, but the town would actually make money per pound. And then it could actually be like it could be very lucrative because the town is getting rent. It could be, you know, in the recycling area, it could be in any sort of public area, I guess. And we could also potentially run, have the agreement where they do the pickups, but kind of like after the town garage sales or seasonally or something like that. So it might be a way to add money to, I don't know if we have a budget, but like add money to our budget or to the town's budget, part of their recycling program, green team or something like that. So it could be potentially a win-win where we're making money and we're also getting things out of the landfill, and so that we're using less of the landfill too. So as a next step, Nicole had sent me just their form of agreement of kind of like their general terms, and I had asked her if she could come and meet with the town manager or come to a meeting, and she had asked for a virtual meeting. So I didn't know. That's what I want to ask you, which one you would prefer, or if you wanted to do it like in a subcommittee or something like that, because I don't know if she's going to come to an 8 o'clock meeting on a Thursday.
sure. So I think there's definitely interest from the town for doing this. So I think that maybe, does everyone understand what we're saying? Does anyone have any questions about this?
Am I allowed to?
Sure,
Chime in?
absolutely.
Okay.
Chime
I
in.
reached out to Nancy in recycling,
Oh.
and she said that they already have a bin by the recycling
Yeah.
center, so they wouldn't do Help City.
What do you mean they wouldn't do Helpsy?
Because I suggested it too, and she was just like, "Oh, we already have a clothing program to take in clothing."
Well, that's the question I had, was that do we already, I didn't know if the town already had an ongoing relationship with
That's
another
what she said.
clothing,
Yeah.
recycling vendor.
I think there's a thing when you, when you're leaving the, recycling area, I think there's something, my memory's so bad, I can't say, but I think there's something.
But if that's the case, maybe we could compare how much revenue we're getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how much the rental fees are, right? Like how much the town is making off of that versus what we would make in Helpsy.
Or if we do the pickup collection.
Pickup collection, right,
Yeah, that's an entirely different service.
right.
Which is way better.
Yeah,
And all we would have to do is basically have the residents who could just schedule it online.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule, I mean, they don't have an app, but you just go online and you schedule your time. You have a garage sale, the next day you can have Helpsy come and pick up your,
That's amazing.
you know, so.
Good to know, like as a realtor,
Yeah.
to empty people's houses.
Yeah.
Help see.
so, all right, so here's my proposal to the commission. I would propose that someone make a motion and we vote on recommending to the town to explore a contract with Helpsy, and then have that be the impetus to have a meeting set up with Helpsy and the town manager so that they can explore it, and we are just pushing it along.
And look for different options as to how it would work.
Yeah.
I'll move,
Yeah.
so move.
I'll second it.
All right, moved by member Lutz, seconded by member Gaudette. All in, or yeah, we can do an all in favor on this. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right. Awesome. That'll be good. I'm excited about this one. I read through the material you sent over, Angela, and it looks really good.
So when you talk about pickup, so it could even work like the plastic film
Yeah.
pickup that we have.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And just put it out the bucket and it's actually working.
But it gets better because now that we have the plastic film pickup, if we're able to do another pickup with Helpsy, it's laying the groundwork. And again, this is one of Angelique's big goals, is the food waste pickup.
Yep.
Every time we start getting these going, it makes it more
Simpler.
simpler for people to get to understand to do to get that system going. Yeah, exactly.
Because that doesn't occur around the
Well,
Yeah, well, that's
listen.
all.
Is that our money? Is
What?
it plastic?
As long as it's containerized.
the first year was free, and I think then that there was going to be, based on the response and everything else, there was going to be some sort of
Because how much
investigation.
How can anyone be picking this stuff up and making money with the amount of plastic?
I'm sure I don't know.
Who knows what happens with most of the plastic, right?
Honestly, I don't. I mean, there are companies like TerraCycle that take it and they make random things with it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just pointing out. I mean, you get this huge pile of plastic and it squishes down to the size of a shoebox. Right?
But
Sure,
they make
but-
decking, right?
Right. They make decking, but it's. I mean, you get down to the 6 and 1 half of the other. You're either gonna pay for the plastic pickup or recycling, or you're gonna pay for it to go into your regular trash and end up in the landfill.
But it
And
doesn't cost anything. Plastic doesn't weigh anything.
Enough plastic weighs something.
Yes, it does.
Like,
It also
No,
takes
the
up
plastic they
volume.
want. They don't want the plastic that weighs anything.
Who doesn't want the plastic?
Let's
that
let
weighs
them
anything?
figure out the money, it's their
I'm
problem.
just pointing out. Whatever.
Listen, again, and I don't know what the economics of that one was. That was something that the council did on their own. So
I personally do it, and I think it's good because less plastic out there. But I don't see how it can be economically
Yeah.
viable for anyone to be picking this stuff up.
It could also be part of their like marketing, good citizen budget that they might have, like if FC Johnson, I think that's doing.
Who's picking it, that's who's picking it up?
That's their demonstration project. I don't know what specific company, but yeah, it's part of SC Johnson Wax Company, and
Yeah, they've got.
have a lot of money.
They do a lot of them, they got a lot of stuff that they.
It's a huge tax write-off for them to send someone town to town and pick up everyone's glass.
But then I would think that they would be making advertising hay out of it, which I'm not
Well,
seeing.
it's marketing, it's tax write-off, I mean, it's not
Who
just
are
money.
they marketing it to? Did you know who was picking it up?
I guess
Yeah,
they're
but
marketing
no,
to the,
it becomes part of their ads, it becomes part of their marketing program.
It's in their investor guide.
In fact, people on the
Probably in their
outside.
shareholder,
Have you
it's probably
seen
in
those
their,
ads yet?
in their 10K.
I have not, because I don't spend a lot of time
All I'm
looking.
pointing out is,
But this is what business does.
it's good that it's happening,
Mhm.
and I think there's nothing wrong with giving them the credit. It's something, so that they'll keep doing it.
but I do, if we are spending for it, we should, I'd like to know that too.
Yeah, because it's.
Depending on how much you're spending. I mean, again, it comes down to how much, everything we're trying to do, right, costs money to make the town greener, because it's not the cheapest option, right? When we talk about any kind of energy usage, it's not always the cheapest option, right? It's not the most convenient option. So we have to decide what is worth investing in as a municipality. And getting rid of plastics is high on my personal list. So, and especially not if it's, I mean, again, I don't know the specifics of the economics on it, but I do understand that the program, if I'm remembering correctly, is relatively cheap compared to what we spend on other programs in town. So, yeah.
Pay me now or pay me a lot more later.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So great. So we'll move along with HelpSy, and we'll set up that meeting. There is Donna. I am forgetting. There's someone new in town hall who's working on some of these projects. Not Nicole.
Nope.
Hold on. Give me a moment, please. 1 second. I apologize. I know.
So then, Ed, you'll let me know if I need to contact Nicole from HelpSy
Yeah.
after the appropriate.
Christy.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We'll talk to Christy Fawcett in town. She's going to be assisting on
She's supposed to
things
be
like
doing
this. This.
What's this?
HelpSy.
I see. Isn't that an external thing?
Yes, but we're going to set up a meeting with them and town hall.
What's her role? What's her title? What's her position in town?
You're going to make me work.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't know. What's her title, Donna? Do you know?
Secretary, the manager's secretary? I don't know.
I mean,
Tracy
What Donna said.
Secretary.
no, I mean, who does she work for?
The manager?
She works for the citizens of Ocean
Oh, is
Township.
this,
She has a
this is this
partnership.
woman who sits outside
That
the,
road.
sits outside Dave's office.
Yes,
Her name's Christy,
yes.
okay, see,
Okay.
now I can identify.
Is it okay with you now?
If nothing else, I can identify where she is
Okay.
periodically.
Yeah, you're going to sign off on all that, right?
That all depends.
As long as we have your
Did you want me to
approval.
sign off on you?
Oh, please retire me, Norm. I'm all for it.
I was thinking more of this kind of stuff.
Moving right along with our agenda. I'm glad that we're gonna do HelpSy. That is fantastic. Okay,
Sounds good.
let's run through old business. EC website. There's nothing on it right now. Stormwater ordinance. Well, it hasn't rained in 39 days in the state of New Jersey, and it does not appear that it's going to be raining for many more days to come. So,
That's not true. It rained the other day at my house.
You know,
There was a light sprinkle.
It was
Yeah,
basically a
light
spit, a Will Space spit.
there has been no measurable rain in the state of New Jersey for 39 days and counting. But somehow we're not in the drought emergency yet. We're still in a drought
How's that?
watch.
Someone sent me a picture of the Manasquan Reservoir.
Yeah,
It's very low.
Hello?
it is very low.
It looked like a puddle.
Well, the only reason I know
It's there
this,
somewhere.
I have downloaded, and I recommend everyone else go out and download. I downloaded the Warren DEP app on your phone, so you can just file complaints, because I was out on my run and I'm watching folks watering their lawns, and I was all set to file a complaint. But until the governor signs a drought state of emergency, it is not illegal to do so. It is just highly discouraged, and it's November. Like, I understand it is warm outside, but there's a drought, and it's November, and you're watering your lawn. I do not. Sure, but that makes sense. The lawns don't need to be watered year round. They can hibernate, they can die, they can look brown. It's not the end of the world.
Oh, no, they can't look brown.
You know, until 1 year and a half.
Oh, we have some houses, the wall
So
Yeah.
I have a question about that. So can the town say that we're gonna require you to not use your sprinklers, or that has to come from the state?
There's different. I think the town can say so, but it has to be by ordinance. And I don't know the specifics of that. The water company can also issue their own
Right.
restrictions on it as well. Getting actually fined by the water company is very rare. Not impossible, but occasionally they will do that. But for DEP to get involved, it has to be the drought state of emergency. So
Even worse, the lawn that was getting watered was AstroTurf.
yeah,
Well, or go take the ring road around Seaview Square and see how much of the asphalt they're watering every morning.
yeah. Anyways, I have lots of thoughts on this. But it's right up there with the shopping cart theory, right? If you don't return the shopping cart, if
We
you're
know what kind of
watering your
person you
lawn
are.
during a drought in November. Anyways,
Well, only charge you a quarter for a shopping cart. They got 5 at home, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
At least water it every other day. Most, like when your lawn's established, you only need to water it like 3 or 4 times a week.
but it's November.
You don't have to water it all year. Well, actually, but.
I've never
nowhere
watered my
ever,
lawns,
nowhere
just
ever.
I don't either,
In the
ever.
summer,
And you live in an apartment.
It's the shrubs I got tripping.
Now it's
They're about 15, 20
it's raining when this.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Anyway.
let's move along. Stormwater ordinance, we don't have anything at the moment. That has kind of just fallen by the wayside since there were some updates to the state ordinance. I think we need to sit back down. I don't know, Jack, have there been any updates to the Sustainable Jersey Model ordinance with the changes to green infrastructure laws?
Honestly, I haven't looked in the last couple of months.
Okay, so we'll figure that out. That's feels like a good springtime project. But I see we have Mary on our, it's not a Zoom, on our go-to meeting. Mary, are you there? She just had the camera on a minute ago.
She's on mute.
She's on mute.
Mary Ann, I think they're talking to you.
No. It
Oh,
was,
Mary's on.
I was on mute, but I've been here the whole meeting.
yeah.
Sorry.
Right. All right, Mary. So what do we got for Brookside? Anything?
Not that I know of. I have to tell you that I've been involved in a lot of family issues, and then I got pneumonia, so I just haven't really done anything in the last couple of months. I'm sorry.
That's totally fine. We understand. Feel better, and
Thank you.
We'll get an update when you're able to give one.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Oh, the last thing I got, this is very discouraging because it probably means another getting back to discussions with the town, but originally the town agreed that they would pay and dredge that pond, which came up as an issue before we could move ahead with the gardens. We had to clean up the pond. So my neighbor, Eric, took over contacting with the town, the engineer who's in charge, and the last was that the engineer said that they've been looking for funding from outside sources to pay for dredging the pond, and they haven't been able to find any. So I will spoke to Eric, but I think when I'm feeling up to it again, I'm gonna have to get in touch with the engineer, and we may be back to square one again with getting that pond dredged. And there, we cannot start working on the gardens until that happens.
Huh, okay, Yeah.
That's all I can tell you right now. Excuse me.
okay, well, let us know, and, I know that Kelly Terry is our liaison, she's not here, this evening, but I would start including her on some of those communications, Mary, when you're feeling better. Don't push yourself.
Okay. If anyone would be willing to send me her email,
Donna's on it.
but I have to say that there's so much I need to take care of that it's probably going to be after the holidays in the new year before I can even start working on this.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. Bye.
Feel better,
Okay.
feel better, Mary.
Yes.
I can't get
All right.
myself off here now.
So the next item on our agenda is our community energy plan. It has been a couple months, so I have an update and I have a request. The update, we got our community energy plan grant. We got the money, the consultant's been hired, they've been having meetings at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays
Meetings
with the consultant and the folks in town hall. They hired Blue Sky, if you remember, Blue Sky came and did a presentation. So Blue Sky is the consultant, they're working through that. And I am really good about being able to move my lunch a little early or move my lunch a little late or find other ways. But 10 a.m. on Wednesdays is not working for me. So I have not been able to attend those meetings, but they are the time and place that seem to work for everybody else. So
I might be able to do those.
Okay.
More than you, most likely.
Okay, because that's what I need someone to sit in and take notes and figure out what's going on, because I cannot be there.
And if you can make it, let me know.
Okay, so Jack,
If you're around.
Where are the meetings?
They're virtual. They're Zoom calls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wednesdays I'm usually
Yeah.
preparing, but.
Except,
Yeah.
yeah, they're on Zoom, so you can take them from wherever.
Share the data.
Yeah.
for these gentlemen.
Yeah, I will put you guys in
Every
touch.
week or every month?
Yeah, it's weekly. They're meeting right now. So
I think we should both be on it, and then when one of us
Yeah,
can't
right.
make it.
yeah, I'll talk to Dave and get you folks looped in. So the other one is the recycling contest. This one's also kind of fallen by the wayside that I really want to get back on. I really want to do this, especially with all of our conversations about recycling. And I know that Miss Edson's class over at the intermediate school has a lot of projects going on. So I think that our December meeting, I would like to dedicate exclusively to covering the recycling contest and finalizing it so that we can send it out to the schools in the new year, and hopefully by the time they're done, so we'll give them 5 months to May, so before the end of the school year, we can announce some winners. Does that timeline make sense for everyone? Are we all going to be around at our December meeting?
What are we gonna do in our December meeting? What's actually gonna happen?
We are going to hammer out the parameters of the recycling contest. We are going to figure out what the prizes are going to be. We're going to figure out what the inclusion is going to be, the rubric for how we pick the best recycling content, and whether we want it to be posters, video, multiple categories, how we want to do all of it. We've had some conversations about this in the past. We have some stuff in our minutes from a few months ago that we can send around again to get us all back up to speed, but I want to get it into a place where we can get it out.
Are we modeling this after anything else that someone else has already done?
No, but Angeli?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, do we have written down somewhere what our town actually recycles? Like, for real?
Yes.
It's in the calendar, but is it like somewhere else?
Yeah, so it is, and this is why we want to do this, right? We have everything written out in the actual contract with the recycling
Mazza.
company. Yeah, with Mazza. Now, that is not what Mazza will tell you that we can
Right.
recycle. Mazda will take more that's in the contract, but we will be using the language in the contract.
So
Yeah.
is that something that you can share with us or that you could bring to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
If you talk to Mazda, they'll take almost any kind of test.
Yeah.
But this is
Which I am throwing in my bucket.
this is the argument my mother had in Tinton Falls. She was trying to get the plastic bottle caps recycled, and Mazda was saying, yes, you can take them, and the town was saying, we can't take them. And it's because it wasn't in the contract. So the town was legally not able to say, yeah, we can take the caps, but Mazda was like, we don't care what you put in the
But
bucket.
if you put it in the bucket.
Yeah,
and they
we're
dump
gonna
it,
take it.
they
Yeah,
take it.
open containers and all that.
Yeah, so, but we have to make sure, and the reason for that.
Kind of only say, oh, we can only take number 1 and 2 or we'll next.
Yeah.
Right. But the reason for that is actually they're not trying to be pains, but the issue is that they cannot assume that they will always be using Mazda for the contract.
They told
So
me that 3 years ago.
yeah, right.
And the county shut down their whole process where they were gonna build something like this. That's how I found out.
Mhm.
That was done. I was talking to the county and they said, well, we've got this thing, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be doing a thing, you can't, blah, 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 blah. And I called one day and said, oh, we canceled that whole project.
Yeah.
So if the county is not even, where are we gonna go? We're gonna ship our stuff to North Jersey? There's someone else competing with Mazda within 50 miles?
I mean, New Jersey is known for its waste management empires.
Yeah. First of all, it's mostly known for its waste.
The other issue about the contract is some of the markets can disappear during the contract period. So
Yeah.
they put in the contract the things that are likely not to disappear.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, because the town doesn't want to be, even think about possibly being flexible about this. You take everything, when Mazda says you can't take anymore, we tell them, these are the things Mazda won't take anymore.
Right.
Anything you want.
But that's
When they-
not.
It
is harder than you think.
But then it costs more
40,
money.
60% of the garbage that can be recycled is not going into the trash.
Which is why we need a food waste program as well.
We're not talking about your diet, Ed.
What diet have you seen me?
You're in the seafood diet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so December we will talk about this. Let's move on. Norm, pending plans.
Not that much has been happening lately, although I haven't done the last reviews I've done mostly seem to be subdivisions of lots and so on.
Mhm.
Okay? And then the biggest thing that I haven't even done a review of it yet is the first French-speaking Baptist church
On Asbury
on
Avenue.
Asbury Avenue. They're doing a whole thing, and they came up with new plans, a while ago. I'm not sure when they're going to be heard.
Well, now my understanding is they're not coming to the planning board anymore. Now they're going to the zoning board. Yeah,
That's possible.
that's what I understand.
Meanwhile, I actually don't know what happened with the billboards on the zoning board.
The billboards are headed, whatever the zoning board says, the billboards had a conversation with, I think with the planner the other day. They're headed for federal court.
There's no interest because we won't pass it, or?
Even if it doesn't matter. If we say no, I mean, when their lawyer started the conversation with, after all, it's First Amendment rights.
First of all, the First Amendment right gives you the right to put a billboard in, okay? It doesn't mean the billboard should be the tallest thing in the county.
Norm. They will put it in, it'll get refused, it'll go to court, they'll settle for something that's smaller. Probably the largest complaint on a billboard is the light spill. And they have engineered that out to the point where 30 degrees off center, you can't even see the damn thing. So there's no spill.
But a municipality can regulate signs, time, place,
One
manner.
of the
That's
tallest telephone poles we have on Route 35, the tallest telephone poles that we have at the very top, over past the reggaeton pole, the high tension lines that they have, it looks like a little tree up there, okay? These things, the tops of these things go into that tree.
No, it's not an argument, Norm. They're too high. Under
They're too big.
badly written ordinance, really, which is ancient, to limit the total number in the town, right? It wasn't well written, and compared to what the lawyers are playing with right now, as opposed to what they were 20 years ago. So it will end up in court. And and from just looking at the people showing up at the meetings,
Mhm.
there's a lot of money back up behind this. A lot of money.
Well,
An electronic billboard, each advertisement pulls in $1,500 to $3,000 a month, depending on the advertising.
And they rotate it, what,
land-
6 seconds?
Yeah, something like
An
that.
ad?
But the land it sits on isn't even owned by the entity that wants to
Right.
put up the
No,
billboard.
sure.
So find
They
out
just-
who owns that, right?
They just pay, it's a rent.
I don't know, I would see who
No,
owns
but
that
it's my
piece of
property.
land.
It's a lease, just like a.
Yeah.
just like a
Exactly,
cell
and
tower.
that auto body shop, you should see who owns it.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Now-
the auto body, there's an auto body shop, there's a gasoline station, and what is it, a dentist now? The third one is on the southwest corner where the Burger King was,
Yeah, it's a dentist.
okay?
So ask
Right,
them.
that's a dentist, okay? That one is the worst one, that one really towers over everything, because there's nothing.
Yeah, because there's
It's a
nothing
very
in that
flat, low
neighborhood.
building,
There's nothing more
on
in
it,
that
right?
whole neighborhood.
I'm just saying, so they're like, gonna be, they're humongous, these things. They're humongous. You know where the body shop is?
Yeah.
Just the next lot north of the body shop is some building that used to be the boiler
Central
company,
boiler.
but they did it nicer and everything. The billboard is the size of the front of that building.
It's huge.
It pays
No,
no,
they're
it's about as wide and high as the front of that building.
They're,
The thing
they're
that's got.
taller than ordinance, they're more square footage than ordinance. Technically, the ordinance doesn't allow another one.
Yeah, you don't want,
So all of those bits and pieces,
there's a loophole.
well, the loophole is federal court and what can be done and what can be argued.
Sure. Well, you know, my fun fact about billboards is that there is not a single billboard in the entire state of Vermont. Not one. Because,
There are about 5 states with no billboards.
Yeah.
Hawaii doesn't have any billboards. There's in my thing, I think I identified the states that didn't have it in my.
all right. Well, anyways, in the interest of time, anything else? Okay. All right. So planning zoning board update. I don't have an update from the zoning board, but any of my other planning board members want to update?
No. Shade Planning Committee, can I,
Sure.
me and Angela are on that. I guess, we also met with Mrs. Edson and we're doing like a student collaboration, more focused on,
Tree canopy.
yeah, and trying to get like their data, the students' data, and then our data together will be used to obtain grants. So
Nice.
it's pretty cool that it's a big collaboration with students.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing on the planning board was the medical building at the corner of Sunset and Logan.
Yes, the second.
They wanted a second exit that the residents were opposed to. And unfortunately, traffic, what they were asking for, the issues around it are not within the planning board's purview. Something has to happen around Appleby and Logan and that whole traffic pattern. I say it all the time. I drive up Logan every evening. I don't drive a large car. I cannot keep my car on the right side of the double solid yellow lines because of all the cars that are parked there. So it is creating a real traffic hazard. There's still the speeding on Appleby with the cut through. So I don't know what the solutions are there, but I keep needling the town that they really need to look at that
whole neighborhood.
that whole neighborhood, right? That the concerns that the neighbors had weren't invalid. They were absolutely valid. It's just not something that
At least
We
the
could-
parking lot gates are down.
yes, they are.
Yes, but yet, a month or so ago, I came out one morning and there were cars parked all the way from 35 to Sunset because there was a funeral.
So
But one thing, and while we're talking about that neighborhood, something for us to think about, because the neighborhood fought it and we agreed with them, that development on Dorset that's in the back,
mhm.
we made a mistake. We should have allowed, it could have been a limited access, but another access point should have been allowed for that. It could have been one of the ones like the end of Poplar where the fire department or the first aid squad has the key to the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got, 10 or 15 houses in there and one little lane road in and one little road out. It's not a real safe scenario.
Well, I guess you could drive across Colonial Terrace, just right down, what is that, the 7th? Yeah.
It's like engulfed in like wetlands though, right? You'd
You
need like a
could
bridge
have,
to
you
get
could
out
have
of
come
it.
out to, you could have come out to one of the streets that goes dead ends.
Come,
It
yeah.
could have been done. And it's not something, it's just something to think about the next time we start running into it.
Could it still be done?
Probably not now.
You have to eliminate a house, wouldn't you?
You'd have to put in
Yeah,
like an
you
access
may have to
easement
eliminate
for
a house,
property.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And, but it's something to think about when we're looking at plans in that kind of a scenario.
You would think that when the fire marshal reviews the plans, they would point that
Well,
out.
apparently to him, it was, they made the streets big enough so I can run a fire truck down. Of course, now the fire trucks are bigger, so now,
I do think that's the weirdest subdivision. You drive through the English Manor to get there.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
But they don't, but no, because
because
that's the town's land. That is the town parking lot.
Really?
The
Yes.
only, you know that weird square off to the side?
Yeah.
That is the English Manor's parking lot. All the other parking lots around that triangular piece, that's a town lot.
Town lot.
Yeah.
And that's a town road that's been there forever.
Yeah,
Just looks like a parking lot.
Right.
Looks like a parking lot.
yeah. So,
Oh, I got it. Okay.
I know it's never clear. Is the gazebo the town's
It's a
gazebo,
paper
or do
street.
they own, it's not a paper street, it's
It's
paved.
like a legit.
It's
but
a
like,
legit street.
That-
It's a street.
just-
And at the end of that, there's a house that's been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Actually, probably even more than that.
Probably. My house has been around for 50 years.
Anyhow, all right.
Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Lollipop.
so Lollipop Pond, I wanted to hear Jack's Green Team update, but while we're on it, there's a cleanup, DLA cleanup this weekend. The Lollipop Pond folks are meeting, what, 9, 10?
9.
9. Lollipop Pond, if anyone's around.
Oh, yeah.
Meeting at the firehouse to go clean up Lollipop Pond as part of the DLA cleanups this weekend. The money came through for I call it a weir, the dam, whatever you want to call it, to build the bridge. Thank you to Assemblywoman Dahlman for that. And so that's going to be, I don't know what the timeline on getting that completed is, but also dredging is on the docket there as well. It's not, I think Fireman's Pond is the top of the list for dredging. I've actually seen the plans. They're going to build a temporary road into the pond to dredge it out. But they're,
Can we borrow them for a day to do Brookside?
that is a question for the town engineer.
Which one's fire?
It's the one by Wanamassa School around the corner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's on Wickapico and
Rainier.
Rainier.
Oh, I-
So yeah, they're gonna close off the street in the end of Rainier, and they're gonna build the road right down into it. I'm excited. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, so Sustainable Jersey. So,
Not much.
okay, good report. Good report.
It'd be very interesting to watch the spoils coming out of those ponds.
Yeah. Well, they've done some sampling, and that is, I'm forgetting the details, but if memory serves, they're going to use the spoils to replace the berm around the mulch pile in Joe Palea Park.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that side of the fence. I remember seeing a hockey goal sitting on Lollipop Pond.
Yeah.
And it disappeared. I mean, could be some real odd things coming out of there.
Probably.
Yeah.
But no, they're going to replace the berm. They're going to use some of it for the berm around the mulch in Palea Park. And do we have any comments from the members of the public who are still here hanging out? Hi.
Hi, my name is Carol Doyle. Sorry I interrupted you earlier.
Nope.
I'm from the Ocean Township Garden Club and Friends of the Library, and I've been working with the Garden Club and some master gardeners as well as some other volunteers in town to restore the gardens at the library. I have an Eagle Scout candidate who's trying to get benches and a park bench, a park bench and a picnic bench for the library area for the public, because there's one kind of bench there, and we're trying to make it like a park-like area while we're working through this. So I don't know how to get the funding that we have is all from the garden club and other small volunteer donations that we got. We don't have any grants or anything like that. Is there any funding in the town that the Eagle candidate could request?
Part of his Eagle Scout project, though, is to make that funding happen.
Right, it could, I mean, that is true.
Yes, the fundraise, that's part of it.
That's part of the whole deal.
Right.
Solicit contributions.
He can solicit contributions, come to us, he come to town, or whomever. He can go put GoFundMe sign up.
There's also like the sneaker recycling, like he could do it through his troop, maybe, like that sneakers, like we're gonna launch that with our troop, my son's in the Boy Scouts as well.
Which troop is he?
76.
Oh.
So, but there's an organization called Got Sneakers, and you can actually, like, he could collect sneaker, do a collection, and then you get money per pair. So that's like something. It's slow, but I mean, it's something,
That's true.
But you're looking for specific grants.
Well, not necessarily a grant, but what I was looking for, since the library is built on town property and it's a municipal building, that I wouldn't want, a donation be made and he goes buys like a plastic thing that's not meant to meet the qualifications of a public site like that, where the public's going to be there and it's safe. Of course, I'm monitoring, we're going to be starting out, but it's a little late on this update on this project.
Can you contact Trex? Because Trex, the schools, they did the Trex recycling of the plastic, and they put them in Wayside School and in the Township of Ocean schools.
Okay.
So if they're good enough for that, I don't know if the town has to come and inspect that.
Yeah, well, the benches the town has been putting in Chopolette Parker, it may not be Trex, but it's a composite.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but that might be something.
Yeah, sorry. No, I have looked into the Trex program. I'm familiar with it, so we're looking at that as well.
But they might come directly. Like, you know what I mean? If you could just, like, can you just directly, this is for an Eagle Scout project?
Oh, I see. Okay. So the answer then is there is no kind of fund or anything that's meant for, public place to improve the environment, make it easier for people that, walk through the park. There's some people I see there. I'm almost there every day, so I see the same people walking.
Yeah.
They're like, routes and stuff.
You can have a conversation with the rec department.
Yeah.
The rec?
Yeah.
Like the tree go.
Yeah, just go a little further back.
Yeah.
No, they're in the building in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Human
wow.
services.
Yeah, no,
Human services.
thank you, human services.
They have a budget for stuff like benches and all.
All right, well, thank you for the information.
So they have a hand up, am I?
Yeah, do we have someone from the public who's online with their hand up?
Hi, yes, my name is Marianne Illis, a Wanamassa resident. You were speaking earlier about Logan Road and the billboard that's proposed for Sunset Avenue and Route 35. And I did go to the first meeting where they were denied the permit for, or the ordinance, application was denied in order to get the billboard by the auto body shop. I'm very concerned about the walkability of that whole intersection of Route 35. I think there's probably many car accidents there, and I see people trying to navigate. If you look at the signage there, it's a terrible area to try to walk through. You're walking past driveways. You have to walk on the right-hand side of the road to get to the highway, and then cross over to the left, and then to the right, then across the highway, so as to avoid turning traffic onto northbound 35. And then there's no way to get over to the Wegmans and Staples area. It's a very unusual situation, and I wonder if there's
It is something we talk about a lot. I was just talking to some of our council members about this the other day, that it is incredibly dangerous because everything you just said is true. To cross, you're crossing on the south side of Sunset, and you're crossing to the CVS, where then the sidewalk just ends.
Well, yeah, and then the road, if you travel eastbound, coming down the road, go through the light, and the roads don't align. On the other side on the east side of 35, you're missing half a lane.
So what I can say is there are no solutions on the table right now. However, the part of the whole wayside to the beach, for lack of a better term, bike plan that's been implemented, they've been working on this issue and they're trying to find ways to do it. They just reopened the bike accessibility on Roller Road. So now you can take Roller Road all the way down through and get into the industrial park to get to Sunset to go to the beach. And this,
Wait, how do you get into the industrial park?
because Roller Road goes into the industrial park.
It's got a gate.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't for bike access. You can't drive there now, but you can ride your bike there.
You can't get through the fence with a bike.
That is my understanding. I have not personally tried it, but I hear that it is now accessible to bikes. But you run into the problem of, okay, well, I've now gotten down to Sunset. Now I've got to get across Sunset.
Gallery. Yeah.
So one of the things that was in the master plan that we just redid was a call to redo the bike and pedestrian plan and to have an engineered study. The bike and pedestrian plan that we have is about 10 years old. We've been making some gains on it. We've been working more diligently to fill in sidewalk gaps, to put in bike lanes in town, and they've been received really well. But that intersection, that cross in particular, is a real issue. So I think that when that plan gets done, there's going to have to be community input. So please come whenever that happens. And I don't know when that's going to be. So eventually, please come and raise that. But two, I think that's the only way that it's really going to get done is when the town sits down and really tries to figure out the engineering of it. Because
And where will that be proposed? Will it be at your meetings or the planning board meetings?
the last time was done before my time here, but my understanding was the separate committee was formed to do it that was created. I think some of the people who were staring somewhat blankly at me in this room were on it.
I wasn't on it, but I either. Maybe
I think it was pre-read too.
Well, the other thing that I want to mention is that now they want to put a 45-foot digital billboard there, which is another distraction. And I'm thoroughly opposed to that as well. And I'll be going to the planning board meeting if I can find out when they propose to have that meeting.
Board.
It's a zoning board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had said that earlier. They went from the planning board and they got denied, and now that has to go to.
No. That was always a zoning board.
Oh.
Yeah, because they needed a use variance because technically the use is now disallowed.
Thank you.
Yeah. So they're going to the zoning board. And I just tried to find the old bike and pedestrian plan on our website, and I think it got lost in the shuffle of the updates.
Yeah, it had to be.
It's yours.
No, that's almost. Okay, do we have anything else from the public or from anyone else on the commission? All right, then I have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn made by member Lutz, seconded by member Colton. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Great.